We're talking horse racing, thoroughbreds, right here on Proline TV for another Thursday. And matter of fact, this is going to be our very first 2026 Kentucky Derby prep race we're going to talk about. I think we've already had something like 10 or 12 have actually already taken place, mostly 10 points. This is a 20-pointer. That's going to be the Holy Bull. That's going to come up second on our list of races to handicap here on today's show. Joining me, of course, as always, Jon Hardoon.
Good morning.
How's it going, John?
Good, sir. How are you? Do you hear me?
I'm doing good.
Oh,
yeah,
good.
I don't know what happened there. All of a sudden, as soon as I started and turned it over to you, the thing just blipped for about, well, thank goodness we're back. And it was only 5 seconds. Okay, so anyway, we are going to talk about Tampa Bay in our first race. It's going to be the Tampa Bay Stakes. Then it's the Holy Bull Stakes. So a lot to talk about with the Holy Bull Stakes. But Tampa Bay Stakes, and a couple of decent races at Tampa Bay this weekend. Not, of course, the greatest weekend, but it's January. Well, almost February. So what are you going to do? Okay, so let's pop up the entries for the race. Here they are, Tampa Bay, grade 3. This is going to be race number 7, purse of $175,000, and a field of 8. And in this one, the morning line favorite is going to be the 6, Win for the Money, a 7-5 shot who looks very beatable. So that's good news. So let's see if we can go ahead and do that. Let's start, first of all, John, with the 1. By the way, this is a turf race, 1 mile and a 16th. And it should go off about 3:25 Eastern on Saturday.
Correct.
Okay. I hear even Tampa might get snow this weekend.
That's not even funny, but okay.
It's what they said. All right. So let's go with the 1, Simulate, a 6-1 shot. William Mott trained horse. And Simulate, really, I mean, the line was pretty nice between his first race and his 5th race. He went from a couple of 21s last year in 2024 to a 17, 12, and 10 last year. But then after the 10, his last 3 races, 15, 17, and 13. So what have you found out about Simulate?
I found out that he's really not getting much better. He had a 10 earlier. He's yet to come back to it. I don't want this horse. I think you have much better options. I don't like this horse at all.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because everything was looking good after the 10 and something happened. And it just hasn't been the same since. So they got to get him right. I'm sure William Mott will get him right. At least he's got a 13 in his last. So maybe that'll be the start of getting it right. Okay, next up is Innately Good, a 30-1 long shot coming off a 12 at Tampa at this distance in his last race, which was a win and an optional claiming race. This horse is used to racing most of the time on Lasix. No such luck on Saturday.
I don't like this horse. I mean, he's better than the 1, believe it or not, and he's at least 30-1. If I had to choose between the 1 and 2, I would pick the 2, but I don't think either one has much of a chance.
Quattrocento is the 3. Now, this is, I believe, the second choice on the morning line at 5-2. Very a weird line. And when I say that is because on the sheet numbers, which is, of course, the most important, these are as good, if not better, than any horse in this field. You've got from July all the way through till December of last year, 9s and 7s. One exception was a 12. Everything is 9s, and that, matter of fact, 3 9s and 3 7s with a 12 thrown in there. So that's really good. But then you see, well, he finished 6th in all 3 of those races. And I don't know if it's a coincidence or not. I don't think it is, but those were when he had to step up a competition in graded stakes races. And those were also the first 3 races he raced without Lasix. What about Quattrocento?
I think he can't lose. Personally, I really do. No one else has 7s. He's got 3 7s out of his last 4 races. The only race he didn't run a 7 was 2 starts back at Churchill when he had trouble in that race. So I could certainly draw a line through it. I think this sort, I mean, you know, I think the horse can't lose personally.
I mean, it's one of those things that it's just the only thing that you can think of, unless you see there's trouble in those races, is, well, I guess the competition in those races must have been really good for him to finish sixth in all three of those races with those numbers.
Well, they were all graded stake races. They were full fields. Last race had 8 horses in it. The 4 previous races had 11 or more horses in it. So not only that, he ran in a grade 1, 3 starts back at Keeneland. He ran in a grade 3 in his last 2 races. This horse is just flat out better than these.
All right. So we'll see what Quattrocento does on Saturday, because something's got to break here, you would think. Okay. Next up is the 4 Discreet Dancer, a 20-1 long shot who looks really slow.
Yeah, this horse has no chance.
All right, the 5. This is a horse I'm definitely playing. I might even put him as my top pick. Definitely one of my top 2, and that's Spellcast at 15-1. And a few things I like here with Spellcast. One is the obvious. He's been on turf 3 times, and he's gone 13, 13, 11, and that's the last 3 because he ran on turf a couple years ago. But just in the last year, 13, 13, 11. The 11 was in September of last year. And also, if you look at his dirt races, he has also improved on dirt, just slower. But he was headed in the right direction on all of his dirt races from 21 all the way to 15. So this is an improving horse. Every time the horse gets out on the track, he improves. And the trainer's hot, the rider's hot. And I love the fact that I'm getting 15-1.
He's fine. The only problem is the horse that I like, Quattrocinco, has run 3 7s and a 9. This horse has yet to run a single digit. I would never talk anyone off playing a horse that's 15-1 if they like him, but I just think he's a little slow. I could see using him underneath, but I don't see how you figure he's going to beat the 3, but anything is possible.
Next up is the other horse I'm going to play, and that's Tom's Magic. And again, the same thing. I just really like his line.
Whoa. What about the 7-5 morning line favorite? You just went over him?
Okay. Didn't see that one. All right. Yeah, let's go with the 7-5 morning line favorite. Win for the money. The 7-year-old, who, even though he's got good numbers, if you look at the 7 from December and then the 7 of January, that's at his peak. But since then, 8 and 3 10s. Now, still good numbers, and especially in this field. But the problem is the numbers are getting higher as he's getting older. And I think that's not a coincidence.
That's a perfect read. You read the sheet perfect. Yeah, he's 7 years old, but he's getting worse. Last year, well, actually 2 years ago, technically 7, 8, 9, single digits. Last year, can't break through the 10s. And his last race, he was on Lasix. He comes off of Lasix. He didn't even move up, when he went on Lasix last time.
No.
I can't play this horse.
Yeah, the only good thing is that he is in a grade 3 race, but he ran that optional claimer with Lasix last time, as you said, and that didn't help him.
No.
Okay. Now we go to the 7, Tom's Magic. And again, he doesn't have the numbers like the 3, but he has improved an awful lot from his very first race to his last 2 races, which were both 11s. So he's gone from 17 up to an 11. He's never gone backward. And he just nearly missed a grade 1 win his last time out at Del Mar in November when he ran an 11 in that race. So again, a 3-1 shot, Tom's Magic.
Well, I mean, this is another one. I like him better than I like the 6 Win for the Money because he's actually a winning price. So
absolutely,
yeah. But again, there's still none of these are as fast as a 3. So
no. I mean that's what we're going to see. I mean, this is going to be a really good test, to tell you the truth, on Quattrocento of everything we just went over with the numbers compared to his results. It's just he should win. So we'll see. You're definitely going with the 3, right, John?
3 is my top selection. If I get over 8-5, 2-1, I'll definitely make a 1 bet. Hopefully they really make the 6 the favorite, and they may, because it's Mark Cassie, and they like that guy there. He wins races, but I think the 6 is extremely vulnerable. I'm using the 3 and exact as with. The 2, Innately Good, the 5, Spellcast, and the 7, Tom's Magic. 3 with 2, 5, 7. I'm throwing the 6 out.
Okay. And I am going to go with, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and go with the 5. I'm going to go all out on the long shot. And I'm going to go with the other 2, which are going to be the 3 and the 7. Might as well, especially since I have a long shot on top. All right. So there you go. That is Tampa Bay. That is, again, at 325 on Saturday. So that's in the books. Now, we have a 20-point race coming up here. And let me let me get the entries for this. The whole bull. And there they are. Those are the entries. Let me also switch this. I've got the, let's get rid of the Tampa Downs and throw in some Gulfstream action behind there. Where is my Gulfstream stuff? Anyway, as I look for that, we have ourselves again, this is the first time that we've been able to do a race like this, a Derby prep race. So that's good. We're going to definitely follow all the way through to the Derby and update every time we have one of these prep races and keep you updated with everything going on with the Derby. There's also another 20-point Derby race on Saturday. It's the Withers at Aqueduct.
Yeah, but there's more than a 50% chance that Aqueduct will be canceling. They're expecting below, freezing temperatures, and chances are they're not going to run. Okay. That's why we didn't do it, to tell you the truth.
Sure. And then you look at it, there's a horse in this race that is scratched by the name. What was the name of that horse again?
Butane. There are Butane. There are going to be 2 scratches in this race. The 6, Butane, is coming out. And I hear the 9, Game for It, the Chad Summers horse, is also scratching. He's waiting to run in the Sam F. Davis at Tampa Bay in a few weeks. It's 99.9 going to come out. So if he runs, he has no chance anyway, even if he runs.
That's good.
I just wanted to point that out. So
Butane
would be a field of 2, 4, 7 horses.
Yeah, Butane was actually coming in with an 11, a 12, and a 10. And that those are really good. Matter of fact, looking at this race, even though his best is a 10, which is not the best in this field, he's got 3 of the best races in this field. Nobody has those 3 races.
Well, but it's also Bob Baffert. It's also coming from California. They were also very short fields. He didn't. They weren't in big fields. But listen, take nothing away from the horse. He missed his flight to Florida because of weather, so that's why he's scratched.
Okay. In this race last year, it was Burnham Square beating Tappan Street. That was a really big race at the time. Yeah. So those are 2 horses that were heavily looked at the Kentucky Derby, and it was a really close race, a really good race. So we'll see if we can get ourselves another one here. As John said, 7 horses in this field. It'll go off at 5:45 on Saturday, 1 mile and a 16th, just like our last race. This one's on dirt for 3-year-olds, and this is a $275,000 purse. So let me go ahead and get that in there.
It's also points for the Derby. I think, what'd you say, 20 points?
20, yeah. Okay. And this is actually some of the very first 20-point races. So we're at that point right now where Lecomte was the first 20-point race, and that was 2 weeks ago.
It doesn't really mean much because the next group is going to be 50 and then 100 pointers.
Yep.
So, it's nice to get points if you can. Again, these are all lightly raced horses, 1 and 2 races, some of them stretching out to this distance for the first time. So it's not a race that you really want to jump into, to be honest with you, but let's do it.
Yeah, we don't get the 50-point races until the Risen Star on February 14th. So keep that in mind.
Fairgrounds.
And that's when we really start getting serious about our Derby prep races. Okay, so let's go here with the 1, Incredibolt. Now, Incredibolt, I believe, is the only horse in this field who already has Derby points from winning. He won the Street Sense at Churchill in October, so he already has 10 points. He's a 9-2 shot. That was, obviously his first graded stakes win. I think he's the only horse in this field with a graded stakes win. And the line is pretty nice. He's gone from 22, 15 to 12. So 7-point new top to a 3-point new top. And importantly, as well, is he won that race at this distance at 1 1/16.
And he's coming off of a layoff. He ran a 12 as a 2-year-old, so he's eligible to come out and run better than a 10. The whole question is, is he ready? Are they squeezing him for this spot? Who knows? It's his first race as a 3-year-old. Off his 2-year-old numbers, he certainly must be respected.
Yeah, what you're hoping for here is that he takes just that similar types of movements, and then you get another 3 or 4 point top. That's what you're looking for here.
Exactly.
Okay, and at least you're about 5-1, which is not bad. The 20-1 shot, we have two 20-1 shots. Roger, Dana, and Project Ace, the 2 and the 3, both look a little slow.
Yeah, this horse is, he would have to improve. But again, he's lightly raced, a low-profile connection, so you will get a price. But I don't think he's good enough. It's not like he has one race. He has 3 races, and he's yet to run better than a 17. So I don't want this horse.
Yeah, the 2 with 3 straight 17s at Gulfstream Park. So I guess we know what we're going to get on Saturday. And Project Ace, the best he has been able to throw out was his 18 last time when he raced and got his first win at Churchill in November.
So he had an 18 top as a 2-year-old. The 1 had a 12 top as a 2-year-old. Why would you even think of betting this? I understand he's 20-1 and the 1 is 9-2, but you can't bet this horse.
No, the 2 and the 3. Long shots, just let him stay there. Okay, now we've got the 4 Global Aviator, and all we have is one race. It was a very good race. It was at Gulfstream Park, 6 furlongs, broke his maiden right away with a 12.
Yeah, but the problem is that race was sprinting. That was a 6-horse field. Now he's stretching out for the first time to 2 turns in his second lifetime start. It is his first race as a 3-year-old, so he ran very well as a 2-year-old. He ran the same 12 kind of that the 1 did. The only difference is the 1 ran it earlier, and the 1 already did it at a distance. So I would much rather bet the 1 than the 4 if I was choosing between those 2 horses.
Yep. All right, now we have 3. The rest of the field here, and these are all good contenders.
These are the contenders in the. Well, I would include the 1 as a possible.
Sure, absolutely. Yes, the 1, the 5, the 7, and the 8. So let's go with 5, 7, and 8 here, because again, the 6 is scratched, and the 5 is Cannoneer, a 2-1 shot. Just missed out being the morning line favorite. And Brad Cox is trained. Irad Ortiz Jr. jumps on board after a disappointing first race when he went out as the heavy favorite in June. And so he comes back in November and puts Irad Ortiz Jr. on there, and he runs a 10 and gets a win. So are we a little bit concerned with the bounce here?
No, that 10 was in November. We're in February come Saturday or close.
Yeah, we got more than enough time.
Yeah, and it's Brad Cox, and his horses improve with training. He doesn't squeeze them early. I'm sure he was pointing towards his spot, but that's what makes this race not a good betting race here, because the 3 favorites, or 2 of the favorites, the 5 and the 7, they're going to take a lot of money, and while they certainly look a little better than the rest, I don't know if you really want to bet. This is probably a good race to watch, but let's do it anyway. So,
well,
that's actually because I'm going to bet the 8 at 8-1. So, but let's get to him.
Yeah, I actually think that, like, when I'm comparing the 2 favorites, I have no problem saying I'm going to just hard pass on the 7.
And believe me, it's not a bad idea. He ran a new top last time out of 7 points. He was also getting Lasix for the first time, which he won't have on Saturday.
Yep.
Listen, he's lightly raced, so we don't know that it's really a top, but it's a top for us because that's what we see. And he's coming back without any real rest. He ran on January 2nd. He has a month off. That's not enough time. I would play this horse to react, and that's probably the right way to play it.
Yeah, because again, if we're just comparing the 5, we just mentioned all those warts that Nearly has that Conqueror doesn't have, the Cannoneer doesn't have.
Exactly.
So, yeah, that's why 5 looks like the better choice, even though, of course, Nearly's got the 7 and Cannoneer has the 10. But I think there's reasons for that, especially
And
Lasix.
Incredible Bolt has a 12 going long. So if he ran a 10 or better, it would be no surprise. And he has the advantage of breaking from the rail. So.
And then we get to the 8-1 shot, Bravaro. Now, Gaffleone gets on board for the first time after Dylan Davis took them out in the first 2 wins, both 13s at Aqueduct. So he went 6 furlongs, then a mile. And now we're looking at hopefully that next step. And we're getting 8-1. So what do you like about Bravaro?
What I like is that he's similar to the 1. He ran 2 13s his first 2 races. He won both of them. His last race was a mile. But what I really like about him is in his second start off the first 13, he had every right to react and bounce off of that race, but he didn't. He paired up numbers. And what I really like about him is he's 8-1. And he's, you know, why not? So
that's right.
I'm king the 8 with the 1 and 5. You know, I guess if the 8's long enough, I could throw an 8-7, but that's the right horse to key, I think, at the price.
Okay. Yeah. I very much like that as well, but I'll tell you what, I'll go with the 1 over the 5 and the 8.
That's good.
That's what I'll do. But yeah, we definitely would love to see the 1 and the 8 get in the winner's circle. And I think we have a shot to do that. So that's why we picked them. Okay. So that's what we have on tap for this upcoming week. And then we are going to be back again next week. And by the way, just so everybody knows, there are a couple of other graded stakes races this week at Oakland Park. Are they racing at Oakland?
Oakland already postponed their opening. They were reopening tomorrow, but they pushed it back till next weekend. So
okay.
Oakland. Chances of New York are 50-50 or less. The only safe places, I guess, are Gulfstream, Tampa, and California.
What a surprise. Florida and California, yes.
Everyone else has weather issues.
Yeah. When we return next week, there will be 3 graded stakes races we'll be looking at Santa Anita, including the Grade 2 D. Wayne Lucas. Oakland, we'll see how their schedule is. They have a graded stakes race as well. So that's coming up next week on the show. John, appreciate your time as always.
Thank you, Greg. Stay safe and be well. We'll see you all next week. Thank you.
Sounds good. Thanks, John. That's Jon Hardoon. Again, we will be doing this all over again as we have enjoyed doing every Thursday once we get into this calendar year. This is when the races start to heat up, as I mentioned before. Once again, just taking a look at the rest of the 20-point schedule for the Derby prep races. The next one is going to be next week. Now, it's going to be on, I think, Friday. I think it's going to be on Friday, February 6th, because February 7th is going to be 2. So actually, they've got the Southwest. That's going to be on the 6th. And then the Sam F. Davis and the Robert B. Lewis will be on the 7th. So that's next week. So there'll be 3 more 20-point Derby prep races. The week after that, they've got another race at Sunland. And then the week after that, they got another race at Turfway. And then once we kick into gear, actually, if you think about it, interesting that they're in between, because the 20-point race at Sunland is on the 15th. And then the other 20-point race is the Turfway race on the 21st. But they're going to throw in between a 50-point race at the fairgrounds on February 14th. And that's going to be the Risen Star. So it's not like it's going to be all 20 points first. There will be one 50-point race thrown in there, the Risen Star, on February 14th. And then it really starts to get fun the last Saturday of February. That's when we have 3 really good 50-point Derby prep races with the Gotham, the Fountain of Youth, and the San Felipe at Aqueduct, Gulfstream, and Santa Anita. So that's how that's going to look. And as far as our coming weeks, again, next week, looks like we're going to do Santa Anita. A couple of weeks from now, The fairgrounds have a really big day with 4 big stakes races. You got a couple others at Gulfstream and Santa Anita. Then we take a week off, which might be the last week off we take in a while. So it's a little bit of a downtime. So we might be taking a week off. I'm not going to guarantee it, but that's a possibility that it looks like it's a slow week. And then we return for the big Saturday that we just talked about, Gotham, Fountain of Youth, and so on. So that's the way our schedule looks. As far as the rest of our programming here at Proline TV, we are going to be talking about football at 8:30 tonight. Jason Sarney is going to join me from Dolphins Wire. We'll talk about their offseason, the new coaching staff, free agency, and the draft. So, again, if you're a Miami Dolphin fan, you can check that out later tonight. And that's, I think, about maybe my 7th or 8th interview that we've done so far with offseason NFL team offseason previews. So we're going to do all 32 between now and hopefully we'll get them all in. A good deal before the draft. So look out for that if you're really into that, especially because this is the time of year you want to be paying attention. Really, you should. If you're into football, this is the time of year for the NFL. You want to pay attention to see how teams better themselves in the offseason. And college football, you want to be paying attention right around the spring, when they have their spring practice, because that's when you have a firm grasp on all the portal players that are going to be in their destinations for the 2026 football season. But before that time comes, NFL, a lot to talk about there. Of course, Super Bowl, we'll preview that next week on a few different shows right here at Proline TV and part of the RLAS Football Network. Matter of fact, we did a mock draft show earlier today, our first one with our partners over at RLADS. So you want to check that out if you're into the draft. And I know you can wager on the draft picks too. So if you're into that, you can check out the mock draft show that we did earlier today right here on Proline TV. So for Jon Hardoon, I'm Greg DePalma. Thanks for tuning in. Hope everybody is warm this weekend and you stay out of the cold and stay out of that snow, and hope everybody just, keep that electric on. I know you don't really have a whole lot to go on other than keeping your fingers crossed, but we'll keep our fingers crossed for you and hope to see you guys again here next week.